ויהי ביום השמיני. ויהי ביום השמיני. It was in the 8 days. It say, קרא משה לאהרון. משה, called Aaron. ויאמר אל אהרון, he told Aaron, you should take עגל בן בקר, a baby cow, or a baby bull actually, עגל, as to sacrifice. So of course, when we talk about Shmini, we talk about the Rosh Chodesh Nisan, but Shmini, from a Kabbalistic point of view, the word Shmone mean Bina. If you count 8 Sfirot from below to above, it's Bina. And the idea is to get into a point of, what is Bina? Bina is part of the Gimel Rishonot. In Gimel Rishonot, you can compromise. Zayin Tachtonot, meaning the lower 7 Sefirot, manipulate or compromise. But a person cannot compromise about the love in their life. A person cannot compromise of how people behave toward them. This weekend, I talked to my community and pushed them to get out of their, I don't know exactly what to call it, but, push them to go to the next level. And of course, when you push people, they're missing 2 points. First, why they need to be pushed. If they need to be pushed, that means something went wrong. If I need to push you to do something, first thing is a problem, you didn't do it, and you didn't push yourself. Second problem that normally happens, after you've been pushed, you feel discomfort. What do? You blame the person who put that force. And when a person put that force on you, is the person who gets you to be now. What do? You go back to the cesspool, going back to the garbage. That's the difference between a moron, between an idiot or a moron or stupid, to somebody who want to make a difference in the world. If I have to define how Moshe, Rabbeinu, work, and Aaron, and the tzaddikim, they were not busy with waiting for somebody to tell them what's wrong with them. If somebody tells you what's wrong with you, and you get hurt, that's when you are a liar. That's when you never told it to yourself. And if that's who you are, you're not spiritual. You're acting spiritual, but you're not. Nothing between you and love and spirituality is real. It's a lie. It's all a lie. Wake up or don't wake up. Next lifetime you're going to wake up. But you'll have to suffer. Great deal of suffering. Maybe reincarnate as a stone. And we're going to talk about reincarnation in a second. But just understand, it's not a joke. If I have to come to a person as a teacher, as a coach, let's say I tell you something wrong with you, the real problem is that I have to come to tell you what's wrong with you. That's a real problem. Not what I told you it's wrong with you. What I told you it's wrong with you, that's later on, whatever you fix it or you don't fix it, that's up to you. But me taking the time and tell you what's wrong with you, that's the real wrong thing. So now, try to imagine a sushi place. And there is a chef and a small guy who just cut the vegetables. But the one who cut the vegetables did a terrible job. The chef come and say, that's a terrible job. The person who cut the vegetables busy, being insulted that out there the chef doesn't give me the respect I need. Respect for what? You just cut the vegetables bad. We have to serve it to people and everybody suffer. So when people hear criticism and real criticism. I'm not saying abuse criticism. Real criticism. And don't stop. Stop. And just ask yourself, hey, wait a minute. Why didn't I think about it before? Why didn't I think about that there is a mistake? I know a gentleman who came to one of his bosses and tell them what's wrong with the company. They couldn't take his criticism. When the boss cannot take the criticism from below, not abuse criticism, criticism to fix things, that means that boss is hiding something. That's how you know. If your husband or your wife tell you they love you and they act opposite, or let's say you tell your girlfriend and boyfriend that they are something wrong with them, and at that moment you tell them what's wrong with them, they stop loving you because they cannot take criticism, they're cheating on you. You don't know it yet, they don't know it yet, but they are cheating on you. I'm giving you a lot of secret today. And you have to adapt it or you don't. But if I have to go usually to a student to tell them what's wrong with them, and they don't, kind of looking inside, why did I make the teacher come to me? Why did I see it on my own? If you make soup, you test the soup and you make sure what's wrong with the soup. I went one time to a lady Upper East Side. She was living in the Upper East Side, and she was making food. Everything she made tastes bad, horrible. So the two gentlemen who were with me asked me, why do I think the food tastes so horrible? So only one reason. I said, what is it? I said, but she never tested food. And when she tested, she looked what's good with that. This type of women will never grow. This type of men will never get to anywhere. Criticism is the beginning of a change. Aaron get a zchut. Why only Aaron get that? It's in Pasuk Bet, second Pasuk. ויאמר אל אהרון, קח לך עגל בן בקר לחטאת. Take this עגל. Take this, remember the golden calf? A little bit fault of Aaron, even we cannot say it, but the egel is a calf. So they tell him to sacrifice a real calf. Aaron is not stupid. It says the Zohar, מדוע egel? Why a calf? And I hope everybody can hear the audio well. Why a calf? שנאמר עגל בן בקר לחטאת, לכפר על החטא שעשה בעבר, והוא חטא העגל. Tell us the Zohar is to do tshuva for the egel that he did before. But why Aaron? Why Aaron get the merit to be told what's wrong with him? Not only that, his two children died, lo alenu. Because if you look to find out what's wrong with you, so you can grow, people will come and tell you. But if you not look to see what's wrong with you, and you are like that moral lady who served poison to people and asked them to eat it because she never tested, it's not spirituality. There's no care. What kind of dinner in Shabbat can serve a food that you didn't find? What could be wrong with that food? What could be wrong with that bread? What could be wrong with that soup? Am I being negative? No, that's being positive. When you serve people, you have to look for everything what is wrong. Remember, this Passover, I cook all the food. And I don't think I did perfect job. I did okay job. Not bad. I could do better. But I went person by person to see that they are happy. And I found that person. I don't even know him. A lady brought him here. I don't think she should bring him. But, I try to advise people how to work with people, but they don't listen to me. So it's not something I can control. So I asked him, how's the food? He said, terrible. I came back to my table laughing. I said, I was so happy. Why was I happy? Because somebody told me in my face, what do you think about the food? Then I went back to him and said, can I make you happy with different type of thing? Can I make food and this and that? He was just in a bad mood. But the point is, if you're afraid from a criticism, you're a cheater. From now on, criticism scared you, you're cheating on something. Because criticism is part of the mitzvot in the Torah. It's a, הוכח תוכיח את עמיתך, לא תישא עליו חטא. You have to, it's one of the mitzvot. You have to tell a person what's wrong with them so they will not commit a crime. If people only love me personally, when I tell them what's good with them, they're cheating. They're not real. You want to go to a guru or to a spiritual guide who will tell you how good you are? There's many of them out there. They make a lot of money. I'm not one of them. I'm not the type of a guy who will tell you how great you are so you can give me all your money. That's cheating. I got to tell you what's wrong with you so next time you don't do it again and make fun of yourself. That's real. And that's what's happening in the Zohar of Shmini. Say the Zohar Shmini. מדוע עגל? עגל בן בקר לחטאת, לכפר על החטא שעשה בעבר. והעיל לעולם מפני מה העיל? כנגד אלו של יצחק שהוא הולד פנימה, אומר זה גבורה לדינים. גבורה לקרב להשלים הכל, שלדום ותקוע דינים. So, as the Zohar, he didn't sacrifice just egel, just a calf. He also sacrificed ayil, a deer. Why deer? Because that is like, the ayil is more like a ram. Why you sacrifice a ram as well? That's the same ram, if you remember, the sacrifice of Isaac, that instead of Isaac being sacrificed, we sacrifice the ram. So the ram represents left column gvura. So you have to come with gvurot, with power, to fight who? To fight your inner enemy, the one who doesn't let people criticize you. You know, this, one of the dinner we have as a family, my son is a Leo, and he works on himself strongly. Very proud of him, very proud of him. And he worked on himself to not to be always right. And I saw it on the table that he make an effort not to say that he's right. And I did see that my daughter, my son, my wife were not aware that he shifted gear. And I make everybody stop eating. I say, excuse me, stop eating. You don't just make a step up. We have to recognize it. So when you tell a person what's wrong with them, you also have to know to say, bravo, you overcome that. I love it. Not because you're happy you told them, because you're happy for him that he achieved that goal. That's what's going on with Ayal. The Ayal, the ram, is the strength, the power to go fight it. Go fight it. Go fight it and seek the truth. Your own truth. It's not people's truth. If you don't have a teacher yet, you don't have a mentor, I'm sorry, then tough to make it. I said it last time. It's very tough. You know, the gift that I have, it's not mine. It's a gift that God gave it to me. The good side of it and the bad side of it. I know things. Why I know things, I don't know why I know things. I know. Sometimes I can put it to words, sometimes I cannot. So there is this lady who believes in me that I'm like psychic, like I'm a prophet, which I'm not. I just know things when they tell me things in the dream or they tell me. That's what I know, but I'm not a prophet or a psychic. So there is this lady who believes I'm a prophet. Look at the funny part. So she tells me, you, Eliyahu, you, only you I believe in. Can you tell me? And I tell her what's wrong with her. I say, don't talk to me like that. So just 2 minutes ago you told me I'm a prophet, and I would ask you to tell you what's wrong. I tell you, and now you're screaming at me. So what do I do with that? She's definitely not Aaron. She's definitely not spiritual. She's definitely a cheater. You understand? That's how you have to do with people. Now, those of you who still listen, if there is still people online, I don't know, said, maybe I'm judgmental here. Then you're judging me being judgmental, and you happen to be right. About you judging. About me being judgmental, I don't know if you're right. But about you judging me, that's for sure true. Every person can say whatever they want, and you choose to listen or not to listen. Every person can behave a certain way, and you can be there or don't. You can choose either passive behavior, aggressive behavior, or assertive behavior. You have to choose. Passive, the worst people in the world. The worst. You should judge them if you have a chance. It's people who don't get involved until you take something on the nerve and burn out the comfort zone. They are passive, selfish, cheater people. The worst human being. The same guy, the guy in Germany that you think he was active or aggressive. He was passive. People think it was aggressive. Passive. I cannot go into the details of psychology. Passive. All the evil people, passive. They don't care. But when they care, when you create discomfort for their ego, you create discomfort for the money, you create discomfort for the safety, then they become an animal, aggressive. But the natural tendency of who they are is passive. That's why they're evil. So, people who get shocked by somebody telling them what's wrong with them, show you that those people never thought what's going on with them wrong. Now you can come to conclusion and say, hey, wait a minute, Eliyahu, maybe they're insecure, now you're going psychology. I'm not going psychology, I'm not so good at it. But I will tell you from a spiritual point of view. If somebody would tell me, Eliyahu, you're fat, I say, you're right. If somebody tell me tomorrow, Eliyahu, you're not so good in tennis and basketball, I say, you're right. If somebody tell me, Eliyahu, you could cook a little bit better, I say, you're right. And I'm pretty good in those areas. Why would I say you're right if I'm pretty good? Because I'm good enough to know that I'm not good as I need to be. So for that reason, I can receive criticism. But if you cannot receive criticism, it's not because of insecurity. Don't blame insecurity for all your problem. It's because you right now, you just don't care. And you will never care until you allowed people to criticize you, not to abuse you, criticize you. Abuse means that the abuser want nothing for the person he criticized. That's called abuse. Criticism, or as in America, we have to use the right words, be careful. Positive criticism. I had positive. Everybody feels safe. Oh, how wonderful. Eliyahu said the word positive. Now we relax. Doesn't work. Words is maybe 2% of life. I know that words has power, blah, 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 blah. I believe in it myself. But if your action is out to kill a person and you talk to them with love, is it love? You're killing them. You're going to kill them tonight. But you tell them how much you love them. Pinocchio, I love you. Mowgli, I love you, like the snake said. But you're going to kill them. Is that love? Your intention, your action, talk for themselves. The words can add spice. But I know some people who just say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Then the husband or the wife is not nice for a second. No more love. What happened to the love? It's words. It's not real. Aaron was real. So what do you do? Well, the Zohar and the Ari, as we can look at Parashat Shmini, it's talk about different animal. But before that, before I'm going to a different animal, 1 second. I'm in chapter 10, verse 1. ויקחו בני אהרון, נדב ואביהו. Aaron, an example of somebody who accepts all criticism that exists in the world. His sons, in the day that the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was built, that means the channel of light was open for all goodness. His children sacrificed things that was not their place to do. Why? Ayub Gumim. They had blemish. What was the blemish? They were not married. A person had to get married. Either you married to your soulmate, either you married to your tikkun mate, or either you met a woman that take you to hell. A man needs to be married for those 3 reasons. After a woman can take you to hell, that's called kalbata in the Gemara, the Masechet Gitin או מסכת כתובות, קידושין, מסכת קידושין, שואלים לו לאדם, מצה או מוצא? They asked the man, did you find this wife like Garden of Eden? You find this wife like hell. Why would I ask the man in the wedding night this kind of question? To know where he's going. Some woman's job is to make the husband life hell. It's a benefit for it. Why? Because you get a lot of benefit. Then the man, two things. Get ready for the soulmate. Second thing, fix his tikkun himself. What is the tikkun mate? People who don't get along, and it's not love. They call it love, but it's not love. They're just fixing each other. Soulmate is unconditional love. No words, action all day long. All day long, just action of love. There's no words. Like I know a man who talked to me about his woman, she's not authentic. I said, what do you mean authentic? Words-wise, who cares about the words? In the end of the day, does she love you with action? That's it. Nadav and Avihu felt good. Nadav and Avihu felt great. Nadav and Avihu didn't check the soup that they're serving. They didn't check, maybe we're not fit to go there. Am I speaking Chas v'Shalom bad about them? Who am I to even speak bad? I'm just mentioning the stories that we can learn from them. They did something while their father was alive. Why? Because at that day of the tabernacle was built, all the lights were open. It's like the Messiah, Tchiyat HaMetim, immortal, everything was perfect. So they say, let's finish the tikkun for everybody. They were not wrong. The timing, the energy was perfect. But go to your father. I said, Father, we have this motivation to do. We feel we are the right one. And they were the right one, by the way. They were the highest soul ever came to the world. Nadav and Avihu came from Ziara Ila'ah, meaning the surrounding light of the head of Adam. That's why they reincarnate after this. In Eliyahu Navi, Elisha the prophet, Pinchas, they were special. Special. But they didn't check the soup before they serve it. If you don't know how to satisfy people, you're not spiritual. And it's okay. Not everybody born to be spiritual. Just admit to yourself you're not spiritual. If you don't know how to deal with human beings in a way that they will make it, you're not spiritual. Because you don't feel them. If you're afraid to coach people how to get to a better place, you're not spiritual because you don't care. That's why you're afraid. You're busy with your fear. You're not busy with caring about them. Many people cheating me. In the present time. Many people cheat me in the past. I look aside. I don't say a lot of words. I try. I try to tell them as a hint why I'm not confronting them directly. People ask me, Eliyahu, you know what's going on. Just tell them. I say, I want to give them the free will to apologize. But if they don't, they don't. There is people who listen to story from Hasidim and use the conclusion there to help them with their life. I know a husband, after he go to a local synagogue here, and he loved to hear Hasidic story, he come to his wife, and he start talking to her about what the Rebbe said, what the rabbi said. So he take the story in a way with a connotation to make himself communicate to his wife what's wrong with her. Why does he do it? So those couples happen to come to see me. She blaming him for using too much religion to blame her. And he's blaming her that she doesn't listen. Normal argument. I ask her a question. I said, when you speak, is he right? She says, yes. Do you feel he care about you? She said, yes. And I said, so what blocking you from accept this criticism? She said, I'm not his daughter. And then come my question, that Becker go in tears. I said, can I ask you another question? She said, of course. If you would be his daughter, would you listen? Then she cried, and we opened it up. Everything is beautiful. He was so happy. And then she called me before the class. She told me, you have no idea what I discovered, the wife. So what did you discover? He said, discover how much my husband loved me. I said, didn't you know it? You married for 8 years. I said, I knew it, but I don't know exactly a word you say. I never had the proof that he loved me. But after that, I realized that he make U-turn just to make sure that I will make it. Then I said, why you call me? Are you call me to thank me? He said, no. I said, so why you call me? She said something very tough. He said, yeah, I'm not sure I will do the same thing for him that he does for me. I said, you are different. You cannot do whatever he does. He does his style. You do it your style. I say, no, she said, no. The first 2 years was rough in our marriage, but then he continued to care. And I would just continue defense, which is normal in psychology, if you study a little bit. But I was not busy defending because I want to love him. I was busy defending myself so he will not hurt my negative feeling. I was defending my evil side. Aaron never defend his evil side. The Egel. You know what happened after they die? You want to know? You want to know? Verse Gimel 3. ויאמר משה לאהרון, הוא אשר דיבר השם. That's what God said. לאמור בקרובי אקדש. I only will accept sacrifice from who I choose. God said to Moses. Moses said to his brother Aaron. ועל פני כל העם אכבד. And I cannot be respected by everybody, only who I choose by. God said to Moses. Moses passed it to Aaron. You know what Aaron did? וידום Aaron. And what it mean וידום? וידום. He didn't move. He didn't say a word. Unkulusei ushtik. He shut up. He said nothing. After his 2 children died, he accepted. What a terrible thing. You know why negative things don't happen to people who are off the spiritual path? Because what's going to happen to them? Are they going to be like Aaron, quiet? No. So God knows there is no point. So she told me, is that mean I don't love him? And I said, I don't know, I cannot answer that. But the question you have to ask yourself, while you're getting criticized, can you double the amount of love? Triple, quarter, more. And if you can't, then it's time to check yourself. They don't have kids yet. To another marriage, to another place. Because you deserve to love too. And then your husband is a fixer, he tried to fix that. But he's not feeling anything anymore. Not because he doesn't love you, because he's busy with the fixing. It's a layer before love now. He went out of love, and he's just fixing. It's like you're on a boat. There's no time to write letter to each other when there is a hole in the boat. You got to fix it. So he's now fixing it. He fixed the boat. And the wife will not ask him, can you tell me you love me, please? Fixing. So the love now has to be on a waiting list. I said, that's a big problem now. But I'm very surprised she got it, to be honest. Like, really, really surprised she got it. Not everybody getting it. And I hope they're going to work it out. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I don't know what she's going to tell him or not. So, that's Nadav and Avihu. Now, why in such a parsha we talk about kosher animal and not kosher animal? That's a connection. Life in Kabbalah, spirituality, in Judaism if you want, it's not about good and bad. It's not. It's about sifting, birurin, between good and bad. Animals which are good can be sift the good from the bad. The animal has blood in it. The blood in it is no good for human. Because if you drink the blood from an animal, you become like an animal. It's called nefesh behemit, as the Baal HaTanya talk a lot about it. In a non-kosher animal, you cannot sift the good from the bad. It's all different. So why it's there? It's there to make you choose. As a person who eats kosher, if I go vacation, I have nothing to eat, right? What to eat? When I'm going to eat celery with tomato, that's kosher for me. The meat is not kosher. The chicken is not kosher. The fish is not kosher. The rice is not kosher. Nothing. I can eat nothing. Why? Because the conscience of that food was not sift the negative from the positive. So when I eat the positive part of the negative food, it's still negative. Because it cannot be sifted. It cannot be sifted. Cannot. And it doesn't matter if you eat vegan. It doesn't matter if you eat vegan. Any food that you eat, that the conscience was not to sift the good from the bad. My grandmother, Aleh Shalom, I grew up with a family who are very much into kosher. She make the rice. She put the rice on the table. Below the table, she has a big bowl. Put it there. Put it usually on her lap. And she go rice by rice, grain by grain, to check that it's clean from worm or from anything that might be an animal, so it will not be not kosher. Because rice is kosher. The worm is not. You can tell me that all the chefs in the restaurant checking the rice, well, you tell me they buy a good rice. I believe you. And I agree with you even. But do you have it in you to check everything? So you can sift, not dealing with the bad. You eat pig, you cannot separate the good from the bad. The pig energy will go to your body for 40 days. You eat shrimp, shrimps become in your body. You eat cow, kosher or not kosher. Not all cow are kosher. It has to be slaughtered in a way that the soul get out from the neck. Otherwise, it's not kosher. You have to see a sign say kosher on it. And even then, if it say kosher, it still might have an issue. Kosher being separate the good from the bad in a way that when you eat it, you can do it. Now, next level. Reincarnation can happen in animal. Who reincarnate in kosher animal is people that are waiting for us to fix them. They are like Aaron, know that something went wrong with them. So when they go to heaven, sit with the angel, negotiate the deal. And the angel said, well, you couldn't restrict a human behavior. You couldn't take criticism. What would you like to do? Become human again? Or you want one level down so you can be easy for you? They look and say, well, it was tough as human. What about the sheep? Okay, sheep is good. Go sheep, they slaughter you after that. And then if somebody eat the sheep with the consciousness, you can elevate, become human again, then you're good. Then they fix it. So the person who's righteous fixed through eating the food, the soul within the sheep, and then when you reincarnate to human being again, you have a chance. You have a fair chance. Some people have to be reincarnated as vegetables. And then the animal have to sift them from the vegetables. Some people have to be reincarnated as stone. And then a cow has to eat the vegetables that attach to the stone. And that's how they reincarnate, by the cow going as a steak on the table of a righteous person. And by that, they elevate themselves. You can't sit and waiting for something to happen in your life. Because you're cheating. And if you don't cheating people, you're cheating yourself. You're lying to yourself. If you cannot accept spiritual criticism, and when somebody criticizes you, that's already a spiritual criticism. Doesn't matter who they are. Now if you turn to abuse, thank you, but not thank you. Not for me. But if somebody, those of you who know me, I think a few people know me, I can put in mind maybe 3 people know me. And something happened. I look inside, what's going on? Told you about the story, I was in Santa Monica, and a homeless lady come with the shoes and hit me on the head. I stop. I think to myself, what is wrong with my head? My head. Hit me on my head. Now, she's crazy, right? She is. But the Talmud, I trust the Talmud. The Talmud say crazy person can give a message. Baby can give a message. Drunk and a crazy. Those are the only 3 people who are pure messenger. So if a normal person tell you what's wrong with you, and you cannot hear it, then why would we say you're a drunk person? Or crazy? Or a child? You don't listen. Somebody tell you what's wrong, you take a note and a pen and start writing everything. And if you don't believe in God, then why would you believe them? Do you believe God can talk to the tongue of a person? If you don't believe in it, then what's your belief system? I wish I would know. So remember, all this parsha of Shmini is out to get into a level of Binah, which is Shmini, Shmone, Binah. What's in Binah? It's funny, somebody just texted me a message. I said, how can they text me if they're on the lecture? But maybe they texted before, I just saw it now. So if you're on the lecture, I just saw the message. When you tap into Binah, in the 3 column of the 3 upper sphirot, Gimel Rishonot, you have Keter, Atik, the above. You have Chokhmah and Binah. Chokhmah is the right column. Binah, left column. So, to get to Binah, which is what we wish for, because I'm not going to speak deep about it, there is something called Tzimtzum Bet, meaning when Malachut went to construction, you take your desire to receive, your selfish side, and you bring it up to Binah. So why some people fix themselves, some people don't? We all have problems. Nobody going to live this world perfect. Sorry. Nobody. Nobody will be an angel. But if you're lucky enough to be criticized, life work. I used to go to every mentor I ever had in my life and ask them what's wrong with me. So what does it take to hear those words? What does it take? And I realize that people don't accept criticism. Why? I'm reading a section in the Zohar, in the Yenuka. Yenuka is a child, like 5 years old, telling the student of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. More than this, student of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Let me repeat it. Student of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Student. The 10, one of the 10. 3 of the 10. What's wrong with them? You know what they do? They listen. They don't tell him, chutzpan, shame on you. Who you think you are? They listen. And he tell them, if you were the student of Shmaya, you would wash your hand. They are dirty. And they try to explain, we were busy with the wedding of poor people. They were not trying even to defend. They just tried to explain. They said, like, you're right, but please. That's spirituality. So if you're not being criticized yet, accept it, take a note, learn, and change it. You're not spiritual yet. You're reading spiritual book. You heard about the word spirituality. You use slogan and title. Spirituality is not part of your life. You say it is, it sounds good and all this and that, blah, 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 blah. We know we're in the time of the Omer. Time of the Omer. What do we do in the time of the Omer? What's the purpose? Time of the Omer, you're counting. What are you counting? What are you counting? You're counting every day an aspect of lack of desire that you have. Last week, we take care of Chokhmah. This week, we take care of Binah. Next week, Chasadim of that, and then Kvod that, and continue. What does that mean? It's an aspect of me who don't want enough from life. How do you know somebody doesn't want enough from life? If I get a job somewhere, and something went wrong, they're not happy, I go back to them and say, what is about my product that you don't like? I want to know. They tell me, I fix it, and it become better. I need criticism. It's what built my business. It's what built my life. When I make food, I put it on the table with my family. They tell me this is too spicy, this is too... It is. Or I said, well, I actually like it. But I'm not saying you're wrong. You cannot tell the person who criticizes you you're wrong. That's what they feel. That's what they experience. She doesn't love her husband. It's okay. What do you think? You have to stay in a marriage? What do you think? You have to stay in your business? Get to know yourself. And then when people criticize you, it will not be a surprise. It will be, you're eating too much? You're right. Eliyahu, you're very messy when you eat. You're right. Everything you're going to tell me, you're right. Because I'm looking inside and see what's still missing in my life. There's a lot of things I'm not doing right. But if you tell me, for example, you don't care about people, say you're wrong. Right away. And if you tell me, Eliyahu, I have something to say about how to care more about people. I say, oh, tell me. I like to listen because I care about people. But I will consider abuse if you tell me I don't care about people. I built something. And yes, I said I for a reason. I left something where I was a superstar in to build something which will be fair for people. I went and I shoot videos every day, 2-3 hours videos, to make an archive called Vital Transformation. I gave everything I can and I continue to give, and I will continue to give and to give. One student called me, said, how come not enough people master everything you teach? I said, they're not being criticized enough. Somebody who's never been criticized, that's been their vessel, their desire is small. They're not meant to help, they're meant to destroy. People with a small desire and passive, meant to destroy the world. That's what they are here for. You have to stop them from doing it. They are here to destroy you. Not because they're bad. That's the goal in life. Now, can they change? Only if they accept criticism and look for it. They're never going to have friends, those people. They lie and cheat, fake, all the way to the bones. I once met a woman like that, who was liar and fake and never received criticism. You know what I did to her? It's when I was young and brave and strong muscle. I took 2 recording devices. In one recording device, I record the whole session. In the other recording device, I stop and I let her listen. It's like a therapy that you do, psychiatrists do it. It's psychoanalysis. And I make her listen to her own words while she tells me she never say it. I said, that's what you say. She agreed to that recording, those of you ask. And it was 28 years ago where those things was not a big deal. You know what happened to her? After she heard herself, she fainted. You know how many people like this I meet every day? Do you think I tell them anymore? Do you think I still record them? No. Why? Not every person has the capacity, the ability to truly listen to criticism for the sake of growth. Most people, that's why Malchut, going up to Binah. Malchut, you're all selfish, you're all the wrong thing, going up to Binah to be fixed. That's what happened this week. Again, not for everybody. If you start to change today, it's fake. If you start to change tomorrow, it's still fake. If you start to change in 2 weeks, still fake. The question should be, why didn't you start 2 weeks ago? The other question should be, who's crushing you so you can get to your goal? Crushing you from love, not crushing you as an abuser. I hope that with this lesson today, of us looking for growth, looking for next level, not just looking to make more money, not just looking to be more successful, to be like Aaron. Accept that, not asking any question. I did the wrong thing. They're going to tell me what I did wrong. Don't accept punishment, God forbid. That's abuse. If you look for abuse, then you're fake. But you are looking to improve. You make a soup, don't you want the soup to get better? If you make the soup just to be recognized that you make the soup, then you don't want a criticism. You just want a recognition for making the soup. Yes, we can say your self-esteem is so low, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards of psychology. So what if your self-esteem is low? Do you want to take it up? Well, I can teach you how. Do you want to listen? No, I have a low self-esteem. Leave me alone. Then you don't want to put it up. You just want to use it as an excuse. If you truly want to build yourself up, then what does this have to do with self-esteem? What does this have to do with it? If you have such a low self-esteem, don't tell me you have a low self-esteem. Let me tell you when you have a low self-esteem. A low self-esteem person will tell you about himself. You have low self-esteem? That's an excuse. A low self-esteem is so low that he cannot even say I have a low self-esteem. People, stop cheating yourself. Stop. Life is not that long to cheat yourself. Live a good life. And a good life is improvement. Today, I was at the beach by myself. So beautiful. And the water was running into the rocks and shaped the rocks. And I didn't know what's stronger, the rock, or let it happen, or the ocean, or ready to change according to the rock shape. And then I said, I think both. It's where earth means the ocean. Then I found a section, I think in Tikkun HaZohar, that happened because God said, La'afrid ben mayim lemayim, that God said there will be separation between that type of water to another type of water, and that will be the place where the ocean cannot cross. So they have a huge respect between those rocks and water. But they both recognize what they need to change and what they need to do. And if we don't have it, it's a sad thing. And I hope, instead of being depressed from my words, you become motivated to get better, to accept criticism so you can get better. Thank you, and you have a good night.